Hey everyone, so if you're looking to literally level up your dating life without having to sift through hours of, super vague advice, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're diving into this explainer to uncover the ultimate secret to making a truly great first impression on a date. It's a concept that honestly sounds simple, but as we'll see, it is fundamentally misunderstood by so many people. So think about it. What actually makes or breaks a first date? I mean, is it the venue? Your outfit? The topics you choose to bring up? Well, while all of those definitely matter, for sure, the true answer lies in this kind of invisible mechanic that many men just unknowingly get completely wrong. It's the hidden engine driving the whole shebang. Okay, let's dive right into this roadmap. We're going to cover 1. The first impression secret. 2. Avoiding common timing mistakes. 3. Optimal arrival timing. 4. Pacing conversation topics. And finally, securing a second date.
All right, starting off with section 1, the first impression secret.
And this brings us to a foundational concept: precision timing. The source material defines this as the strategic timing of certain actions on a date to perfectly cultivate the atmosphere. Think of it, well, kind of like a giant dance. It's not just about knowing the right steps, right? It's about executing them perfectly on the beat. Like, if you drop a really heavy, emotional question way too early, you're basically stepping on her toes. But keep things too light for too long, and the dance just gets, well, boring. Timing is literally the secret ingredient that dictates whether the date's atmosphere feels super forced and awkward or totally natural and magnetic. Moving right along to section 2, avoiding common timing mistakes. It is surprisingly easy to just unknowingly get the timing totally wrong. Imagine rushing a deeply personal question, like, I don't know, asking about childhood trauma before the appetizers have even hit the table. Or, on the flip side, awkwardly lingering way too long in silence during a transition. It just creates this jarring start and stop rhythm. But utilizing optimal timing smooths out all those rough edges, and it gives you a seamless experience where your date feels completely at ease. The source material actually hits the nail on the head here, stating, the timing of certain actions can make or break the atmosphere. That is a completely crucial realization. You could do literally everything else perfectly. You pick the absolute best restaurant, wear the perfect jacket, but man, if your pacing is off, the whole atmosphere crumbles. This is exactly why we need to pay incredibly close attention to how we pace things. Which leads us perfectly into section 3, optimal arrival timing. Let's move to and see how this builds, because every date follows a pretty strict chronological anatomy. 1, it starts with the arrival. 2, flows into the initial chat to establish a relaxed vibe. 3, deepens into more meaningful conversation topics mid-date. And 4, concludes with the ultimate goal, securing that second date. So let's focus right now on step 1. Mastering your arrival timing is absolutely your critical first step. I mean, if you arrive 20 minutes early, you might seem super anxious, right? You're just waiting awkwardly at a table, draining your own energy before it even starts. But arrive late, and you instantly communicate disrespect for her time. Actually, scratch that. It puts you in a totally defensive position before you've even managed to say hello. Finding that sweet spot, just a few minutes early, allows you to get acclimated, project confidence, and set a really welcoming tone from the very first second. All right, on to section 4, pacing conversation topics. So the crucial point here is that once you've mastered the arrival, you transition smoothly into the initial conversation. From there, you've got to pace those topics properly. You don't just dump all your best stories on the table in the first 5 minutes, right? You really have to let the interaction breathe. Deliberately pacing your dialogue prevents you from unknowingly ruining the vibe. You start light, maybe some situational humor or shared observations about the venue. Then, as comfort builds, you gradually introduce deeper, more personal topics. If you rush the deep stuff, it feels like an intense job interview. But if you never leave the shallow topics, well, then it feels like a sterile networking event, and nobody wants that. Precision timing is all about reading the room and shifting gears exactly when the atmosphere naturally calls for it.
And finally, section 5, securing a second date.
Now, what's really interesting about this checklist is that securing a second date isn't just about luck. It's the direct result of executing these expert insights. By making a great first impression, avoiding those clunky timing mistakes, optimizing your arrival, and pacing your conversation carefully, you are actively engineering a memorable experience. You signal really high social intelligence, and honestly, that is incredibly attractive.
So the complex world of first dates definitely doesn't have to be a mystery. The mechanics of human interaction are right there in front of you. So, what does this all mean for you? Will you step up and use optimal timing to completely transform your next date and dramatically increase your chances of seeing them again? Or will you let that invisible mechanic continue to work against you? The choice and the timing is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.